Freed from Canada, Huawei executive Meng Wanzhou hailed as a hero upon return to China. Huawei executive Meng Wanzhou waves as she steps out of the airplane after arriving at Shenzhen Bao'an International Airport in Shenzhen, China on September 22nd. Hong Kong CNN. Huawei executive Meng Wanzhou, who spent nearly 3 years in house arrest in Canada, returned home late Saturday, ending a prolonged extradition fight with the United States and sparking an outburst of national pride in China, where her release has been portrayed as a diplomatic victory for Beijing. Meng, who was wanted by U.S. federal prosecutors for fraud charges related to alleged Iran sanction violations, was arrested in Vancouver in December 2018. Beijing has called it a political arrest by the former Trump administration and repeatedly demanded she be released. Her legal battle strained the relations between China, the United States, and Canada, especially after Beijing detained two Canadians following Meng's arrest, a move widely interpreted as political retaliation. On Friday, Meng was allowed to go home after reaching an agreement with the U.S. Department of Justice to defer her prosecution until late 2022, after which point her charges could be dropped. Hours after her release, the two Canadians detained by China, Michael Kovrig and Michael Spable, were also freed. On Saturday evening, a southern Chinese city of Shenzhen, where the tech giant Huawei is headquartered, rolled out a red carpet welcome for Meng, who arrived at a flight chartered by the Chinese government. Wearing a red dress, Meng emerged from the plane without a face mask and waved to the crowd of more than 100 people, waving Chinese flags and shouting, "Welcome home." "I'm finally back home," Meng said in a brief speech to those assembled on the tarmac, expressing gratitude to her great motherland, the ruling Communist Party, and specifically Chinese President Xi Jinping. The crowds hold banners and placards reading "Welcome Home, Meng Wanzhou" as they wait for Huawei executive Meng Wanzhou at Sancheong Bao'an International Airport on September 25. As an ordinary Chinese citizen who had suffered this flight and been stranded abroad for 3 years, there was never a moment where I did not feel the care and warmth of the party, the motherland, and the people, said Meng, who is the daughter of Huawei's founder Ren Chengfei. Chairman Xi cares about the safety of every Chinese citizen, and he also keeps my situation on his mind. I'm deeply moved. Meng ended her speech vowing to uphold the leadership of Xi and the party, and pledging loyalty to her country. "Where there is a Chinese flag, there is a beacon of fate," she said emotionally. "If fate has a color, it must be China red." While Meng had repeatedly called herself an ordinary Chinese in the speech, the grand reception for her was anything but ordinary. As her plane descended towards the airport, it was greeted by the special message from the control tower. "Here is China's Sancheong Bao'an Airport. The motherland is forever your most powerful support. Welcome back, Miss Meng Wanzhou." Inside the arrival hall, hundreds of people gathered to welcome Meng, holding national flag, flowers, and banners. The crowd erupted in national pride, shouting slogans including "Long live the motherland" and belting out the patriotic songs. Downtown Shanchang's tallest skyscrapers lit up with the message "Welcome home, Meng Wanzhou." Shanchang's tallest skyscraper, the Ping An Finance Center, is lit up with the message "Welcome Meng Wanzhou home." And on China's internet, news about Meng's journey home riveted public attention and dominated discussions. Internet users tracked her flight across the Arctic Ocean, and tens of millions of people tuned in to watch the state media's online live stream of her arrival. Some ran on for 6 hours straight. Many called her a national hero and hailed her return as a symbol of China's victory over the West. The reason why Meng's return has drawn so much attention is that this is the diplomatic coup for China and the manifestation of China's strength, said one of the top comments on Weibo, China's Twitter-like platform. In the commentary, Communist Party mouthpiece People's Daily described Meng's homecoming as a major victory of the Chinese people. The commentary called the Meng's case an act of political persecution by the US to crack down on China's high-tech enterprise and disrupt the country's progress. The China does not stir up trouble, but it is also not afraid of the trouble, it said. Not a single force can shake the status of our great motherland. Not a single force can stop the advancing steps of China. The US case against Meng centered on whether she had misled banking giant HSBC about Huawei's relationship with the Iranian subsidiary Skycom, which the US alleges could have put the bank at risk of sanctions violations. State media reports highlighted that Meng pleaded not guilty, but left out her admission to the court that she had represented Huawei's relationship with Skycom to HSBC. The entering into deferred prosecution agreement, Meng has taken responsibility for her principal role in perpetuating a scheme to defraud a global financial institution. Acting U.S. Attorney Nicole Bookman said in a statement Friday, which went largely unreported by Chinese state media. Also, conspicuously absent was any mention of the release of the two Canadians, Kubrick and Spable. Some social media posted about their fate were also censored in China. The two Michaels landed in Calgary, Alberta, before 6 a.m. Saturday local time, a couple of hours before Meng touched down in Shancheng. They were welcomed on the tarmac by Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Welcome home, Michael Kubrick and Michael Spable. We've shown incredible strength, resilience, and perseverance. Know that Canadians across the country will continue to be here for you, just as they have been. You've shown incredible strength, resilience, and perseverance. Perseverance, Trudeau said in a Twitter post. Know that Canadians across the country will continue to be here for you, just as they have been. Spaber, an entrepreneur with business ties to North Korea, and Kubrick, a former Canadian diplomat, were detained in China in December 2018, 9 days after Meng was arrested. while changing planes in Vancouver. Beijing has repeatedly denied taking the two Canadians as political hostages, but observers and legal experts outside China say the timing of their legal proceedings suggested otherwise. Their hearings held separately behind closed doors in March were announced the day before the first high-level meeting between U.S. and Chinese officials since Joe Biden came to office, and in August, just as Meng's extradition hearings entered their final stages in Vancouver, Spavor was sentenced to 11 years in prison for spying and illegally providing state secrets overseas. In the end, even their release were timed just hours apart. CNN's Fala Newton, Stephen Jiang, and Claire Duffy contributed reporting.